rises before the first light of dawn, her feet quietly making their way to the barn as the world around her still sleeps. With practiced hands she begins the familiar task of milking the cows, the rhythmic sound of milk hitting the metal bucket echoing in the cool morning air. The work is demanding, but she knows that every drop of milk is worth the effort. It's not just the milk she's collecting, it's the result of her dedication and hard work, a symbol of her connection to the land and her animals. As the bucket fills with fresh warm milk, she feels a sense of pride and satisfaction. Later in the day, Anna will turn this milk into homemade cheese and butter, using traditional methods passed down through generations. There's something deeply rewarding about knowing that the food she prepares comes directly from her own hands, from the animals she cares for, and from the farm that sustains her family. Each time she churns the butter or molds the cheese, she is reminded of the simple, honest life she leads. A life that may be filled with hard work, but is also rich with meaning. Anna pauses for a moment, looking down at the full bucket of milk, and a smile spreads across her face. To most it might just seem like milk, but to her it represents so much more. It is nourishment for her family, the result of early mornings and long days, and a reflection of the love and care she pours into everything she does. This milk is more than just sustenance, it is love, commitment, and the essence of the simple life she cherishes. The sun begins to rise as Anna finishes her morning chores, casting a soft glow over the fields and the animals she tends to each day. She wipes her brow, feeling the cool air turn warmer with the promise of the coming day. There is a certain peace in the routine, in the rhythm of her life. She knows that many would find her work tiring or monotonous, but for her it is a labor of love. The farm provides, and in return she gives it her time, energy, and care. Mr. Antonio rises with the first light of dawn, as the sun begins to paint the sky in soft shades of gold. Sitting on his porch with a steaming cup of coffee in hand, he gazes out at the cattle peacefully grazing in the field. Life in the countryside is simple, but for him this peaceful moment is irreplaceable. It's in these quiet early hours that he feels truly fulfilled. The rich aroma of fresh brewed coffee blends perfectly with the earthy scent of the morning dew on the land, creating a sense of tranquility and belonging. As he sips his coffee, Antonio reflects on the lessons the countryside has instilled in him over the years. has learned to appreciate the beauty and value of the little things in life. The warmth of a well-made coffee, the satisfaction of a day's hard work, and the deep, restful silence that only rural life can provide. It's in these seemingly small moments that he finds the greatest joy and contentment. The simplicity of his routine is what makes it so precious to him. Each morning, as the sun slowly rises and the world awakens around him, Antonio feels connected to the land, to the animals, and to the quiet passage of time. The birds begin their song, the soft rustling of leaves, and the gentle breeze fills the air, and for a while the world feels perfect. There is no rush, no noise, just the serenity of the countryside and the familiar comfort of his morning ritual. He thinks back to his younger days, when life seemed so much busier and more complicated. But now in the stillness of these mornings, he understands the importance of slowing down and savoring life's simple pleasures. The farm has taught him to be patient, to work with the natural rhythms of the earth, and to find peace in the routine of daily life. The smell of coffee and the sight of the grazing cattle remind him of the life he has built, one that is rooted in hard work, patience.
Maria senses the scent of rain in the air, even before she sees the clouds forming on the horizon. She hurries, rushing to take the clothes off the line, and calls the children to help shelter the animals in the barn. The wind carries a hint of moisture, and the feeling that the long-awaited rain is near brings excitement to everyone at home. When the first drop hits the dry ground, a mixture of relief and joy spreads among them. The children smile, dancing under the drops, while Maria watches, satisfied with the happiness surrounding her. The bean crop, which had begun to show signs of weakness due to the prolonged drought, now has a chance to survive. The once wilted leaves will soon rise with the freshness of the water coming from the sky. And Maria, with a lighter heart, looks up and whispers a silent prayer of gratitude for those who live in the countryside. Rain is not just a natural event, it's a symbol of life, renewed hope, better days ahead. With every drop that falls, the barren soil transforms, gaining new vitality. The rain not only nourishes the land, but also feeds the dreams of Maria and her family. It's as if each droplet is a small miracle, watering both the plants and the hearts of those who rely on the earth to live. Maria feels this deeply. She knows the rain brings the promise of a bountiful harvest, of food on the table and sustenance for the months to come. For the people of the countryside, rain is much more than a weather event. It's the rebirth of faith and the certainty. On a chilly winter evening, the neighbors gather round the crackling bonfire. The sound of guitars fills the air, and the laughter from shared stories echoes through the night. The fire may warm their bodies, but it's the company that truly warms their hearts. The children sit wide-eyed, captivated by the tales of the countryside, while the adults reminisce about the old days, sharing memories that seem to grow more vivid with each telling. The flames dance in the darkness, casting a comforting glow on the faces of those gathered. For the community, the bonfire is more than just a source of heat. It's a symbol of connection, tradition, and the simple joys of life in the rural world. The nights in the countryside hold a special magic, where time slows down, people come together to celebrate the stories and music passed down through generations. As the stars twinkle above, the fire burns brightly, but the true warmth comes from the bonds of friendship and shared experience. The children are enchanted by the legends of the certain, imagining the adventures of past generations, while the elders cherish these moments that remind them of their own youth. Bonfire becomes a bridge between past and present, carrying with it the traditions that keep the community strong. In these moments, the fire represents more than light and heat. It is the heart of the gathering, a symbol of unity and continuity. In a world that is always changing, each spark and ember carries the essence of tradition, connecting those around it with the deeper rhythms of the countryside and its timeless ways. The bonfire isn't just a flame, it's the heartbeat of the night, the pulse of shared memories, the spirit of togetherness in the cold winter air. children labor tirelessly in the cornfield, carefully gathering each ear of corn with a sense of purpose. Every cob they pick is more than just a crop. It represents a dream fulfilled, the reward for their hard work. The sun beats down on them hot and relentless, but no one complains. They all understand that the fruits of their labor are what keep the family going, providing sustenance in security. As the day wears on, their hands move swiftly, guided by years of experience. The field is alive with the rustling of corn and the quiet determination of the family working together. Pedro watches his children, proud of how they've learned the value of effort and teamwork. Despite the heat and fatigue, there's a quiet joy in the air, the satisfaction of a job well done. Later that evening, exhausted but content, they gather around the table for a hearty meal. The table is filled with the fruits of their labor, a symbol of their perseverance and dedication. Pedro glances at his family, feeling a deep sense of pride and accomplishment. The harvest is not just about corn, it's about the dreams they've sown with hope and reap with love. Every meal they share is a reminder of the sacrifices they've made and the rewards that come with commitment. The corn may fill their plates, but it's the dreams that fill their hearts. Each season they plant not just seeds in the ground, but seeds of ambition, faith and love. The work is tough, but the joy of seeing those dreams come to life makes every moment worth it. As Pedro looks around at the smiling faces of his family, he knows that this harvest is more than a physical one. It's a harvest of dreams, built on the strength of unity and nurtured by the bond they share. The food on the table reflects more than just sustenance. It reflects the journey of a family working together to achieve their goals. In Pedro's eyes, the true harvest is the love and resilience that have grown alongside the corn, season after season. Lucas climbs onto his horse, sentinel, and rides through the vast fields. His hat shields him from the sun's rays, while the wind on his face gives him a profound sense of freedom. Every inch of that land is familiar to him, a place he's explored countless times. To Lucas, Sentinel is not just a horse, he's a loyal companion, both in work and in their adventures. Together they tend to the cattle, ford rivers, and venture into the farthest corners of the ranch. As they move across the open land, Lucas feels a deep with the earth beneath them, sentinel steady gait, and trust make every journey effortless. Whether they're guiding the herd or simply riding into the horizon, Lucas knows that life in the countryside is challenging. But it's moments like these, with his horse by his side, that remind him why he wouldn't trade it for anything. The bond between Lucas and Sentinel runs deeper than just man and animal. It's a partnership built on trust, respect, and countless shared experiences. Together they face the rugged terrain, the unpredictable weather, and the daily tasks that come with maintaining a farm. Whether under the scorching sun or in the cool shade of the trees, Lucas feels at home in the saddle, with Sentinel's loyal presence grounded him. For Lucas, true freedom lies in these rides, where the vast open skies stretch out endlessly before him, and the sound of hooves on the dirt road echoes in the stillness. The quiet solitude of the countryside, combined with the companionship of his horse, fills him with peace. Every ride is a reminder of the simple joys of life, of the deep satisfaction that comes from living in harmony with the life of the land and its creatures. As the sun begins to set, casting golden hues across the landscape, Lucas looks out at the endless horizon. He knows that tomorrow will bring more challenges and more work, but for now, there's nothing but the calm rhythm of the single steps and the wide open world around him. To Lucas, the real essence of freedom is found on horseback, with the wind in his face and the endless possibilities of the open countryside ahead. As the sun begins to set, casting golden hues across the landscape, Lucas looks out at the endless horizon. He knows that tomorrow will bring more challenges and more work, but for now there's nothing but the calm rhythm. Zay is a muleteer, a man of the mountains, who crosses rugged terrain with his mule laden with supplies. His journey takes him through difficult paths and winding trails, each step marked by the quiet strength of his trusty animal. In the small villages nestled in the hills, Zay is welcome with open arms and celebration. He brings with him more than just goods. He carries news, medicine, and a sense of hope for those who live in isolation. With a deep knowledge of the land, Zay knows every shortcut, every stream, and every steep mountain that forms the backbone of his travels. The roads are his home, and though his life is tough and often grueling, he wouldn't trade the freedom of the open trail for anything. The weight of the supplies on his mule is nothing compared to the weight of the stories he carries. The faces of those he meets and the lives he touches along the way. For Zay, being a muleteer is more than a job. It's a calling, His work is vital to the communities that rely on him to bring supplies, news, and the hope of connection. His presence is a lifeline to the remote villages, where people seldom venture beyond the boundaries of their land. Zay is not only a traveler, but a bridge between distant places, a connector of lives and stories that would otherwise remain apart. The work is difficult, the path's treacherous, but Zed takes pride in the role he plays in these people's lives. The freedom he feels on the open road is matched only by the satisfaction of knowing that each journey brings something essential to those he serves, whether it's the comfort of a familiar face or the promise of a much-needed supply. Zay is the bearer of hope in places where it's scarce. His life may be hard, but for Zay, the mountains are more than just a challenge to overcome. They are the very essence of his purpose. The mule is his companion. Donna Marta's wooden house may be modest, but it's filled with warmth and comfort. The walls carry the stories of love, laughter, and moments of sorrow. To her, this home is her fortress, built from timber and memories. Each wooden plank has its own tale. In one corner, her son was born. In another, she celebrated her golden anniversary. Though the house lacks extravagance, it possesses something far more valuable, something money could never buy: the genuine warmth of a true home. Every creak in the floorboards, every mark on the walls tells a story of family, of shared moments, of shaped their lives. It's in this simplicity that Donna Marta finds greatest treasure. The wooden beams might not shine with luxury, but they radiate the love and care have been poured into every nook and cranny over the years. Each passing season, each memory made only deepens the significance of this humble dwellings. It stands as a testament to resilience, faith, and the beauty of a life well lived. Within this house, there is a sense of belonging, a feeling that transcends material wealth. The warmth of a home built not just from wood, but but from years of hard work, shared meals and whispered dreams. It's in this space that Donna Martyr has found her peace, a place where the heart finds rest and the soul feels whole. To the outside world, it may seem like just another small, simple house, but for Dawn and Marta, it's everything. It's where her children grew, where love blossomed, and where every corner holds a
On Saturday night, the entire community comes together to dance to the rhythm of foro. The sound of the accordion fills the air, and the dancers' feet glide across the dirt floor in perfect harmony. Laughter and music are everywhere, creating an atmosphere of pure joy. It's a celebration in the countryside, a time when worries are set aside, and everyone joins in the merriment. Men, women, children, and even the elderly join together in the dance. Their movements blend in effortlessly with the lively music. The energy is infectious, and the joy shared by all is palpable. The music echoes across the fields, carrying with it the spirit of unity and happiness. Above, the sky is filled with twinkling stars, as though it's joining in the celebration, casting its warm glow over the scene. In these moments, life feels uncomplicated, yet deeply fulfilling. The simplicity of the setting under the open sky, surrounded by nature, reminds everyone that happiness isn't found in material things, but in the connections we share with one another. The night is a reminder that sometimes the greatest joys come from the most simple pleasures: music, movement, and the company of good people. As the night goes on, the dancing continues, and the sounds of the accordion echo into the quiet of the countryside. The world may seem far away, but here in this moment, everything feels just right. The celebration brings the community closer, reminding them that life, in its most simple form, is also its richest. There's nothing more fulfilling than a night spent dancing and laughing with those you hold dear. Jose gazes at the freshly plowed field, the rich red soil stretching out before him. The
The earth is fertile, but it demands hard work and dedication. He knows that each seed planted is a promise for the future, a hope for the coming harvest. With calloused hands he labors from dawn until dusk, pouring his effort into the land that has sustained his family for generations. The soil may be tough, but it is fair. It requires patience, care, and respect. Yet in return it offers rewards. The land doesn't give freely, but for those who nurture it with love and hard work, it provides sustenance and the foundation for a prosperous life. Jose has learned this over the years, understanding that the soil's strength mirrors his own resilience. For Jose, the red earth is more than just dirt beneath his feet. It's a living part of the story, a connection to his ancestors, and the bedrock of his identity. Each furrow, each seed, and each harvest holds memories of the past and dreams for the future. The land has shaped him, and in turn he has shaped the land, creating a bond that is unspoken but deeply understood. The red earth may not be easy to work with, but it is loyal, providing the rewards of a hard day's work. When the sun sets and Jose looks at the field, he sees more than just the land he's cultivated. He sees a reflection of his life, of all the effort, the sweat, and the dedication that have made this place home. For Jose, the red earth is his legacy, his purpose, and the very essence of his life's work. It is where his roots are planted, and from it his future grows. Wind sweeps through the sugarcane fields, swaying the tall stalks and creating a gentle, rhythmic melody. John pauses for a moment, allowing himself to listen to the soothing sound. The rustling of the cane, accompanied by the whispers of nature, brings a sense of calm. The wind song feels like a natural lullaby, soothing his soul and bringing him into harmony with the earth. With his eyes closed, John takes a deep breath, inhaling the fresh air and earthy scent of the damp soil. In that fleeting moment, He understands a profound truth. True wealth lies not in material things, but in the simple moments of life. It's found in the wind, brushing against his skin, the scent of rain-soaked earth, and the song of the birds perched in the trees. These small, fleeting experiences hold far more meaning than anything tangible. The sugarcane field is not just a place of labor for Joel. It's a sanctuary, a space where he can reconnect with himself and the natural world around him. It is here, amid the swaying canes and the gentle breeze, that he finds peace and clarity. The field offers more than just crops. It offers him a sense of belonging, a reminder of the simplicity and beauty that life has to offer. As the wind continues to dance through the canes, Joel feels a deep connection to the land, as if the earth itself is whispering its wisdom to him. Here in this quiet corner of the world, he finds solace, and in that solace he discovers the richness of life that money can never buy.
Before the sun rises, the rooster crows, signaling the beginning of a new day on the farm beside. Pierces the quiet of the early morning, announcing the start of life in the countryside. Maria stirs from her sleep, rising with the dawn. She moves quietly, lighting the wood stove, and begins preparing the fresh coffee that will kickstart the day. The morning has arrived. Rooster's crow is more than just a noise. It's a call to action. It marks the moment when the farm comes to life, when the work begins anew. As the coffee heats, Maria takes a moment to gaze out the window. She watches as the first light of day spills across the land, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange. The world feels still, yet full of possibility. Chance to start rooster's song has filled the air, and with it the promise of a day full of tasks, but also a small joys in the countryside. The rhythm of the day is simple, but it is also powerful. Maria knows that in this life every dawn is a new opportunity to move forward, to grow, and to embrace the beauty of the land.
Carlos spends countless days tending to the cattle. The solitude is overwhelming at times, but he finds a kind of peace in the soft whisper of the wind and the distant calls of the cattle. His role is clear, and he knows the importance of his work. Carlos is a seasoned cattle herder, well versed in his craft. He knows each animal by name and has a deep understanding of how to guide them across the open fields. With years of experience, he moves through the land with a calm assurance, trusting both in his instincts and his bond with the herd. As the sun sets, Carlos sets up camp under the vast night sky. The stars twinkle above him like distant beacons, and he listens to the sounds of the natural world, chirping crickets, rustling leaves, and the occasional low moo of a cow. It's a symphony of solitude, one he has come to cherish. The silence of the night is profound, but it never feels empty. Instead, it offers him space for reflection, a moment to be alone with his thoughts. The loneliness that often accompanies his work is not easy, but Carlos faces it with quiet resolve. He understands that his work is not just a job, it's a calling. As a cattle herder, he carries the responsibility of keeping the herd safe, healthy, and moving through the land with purpose. It's a way of life that requires patience, dedication, and courage. For Carlos, being a cattle herder is far more than a job. It's a lifestyle, one that connects him to the land, the animals, and to something deeply ingrained in his heart. Each day spent with his herd strengthens his bond with nature and reminds him of his role in a larger cycle. Even in the solitude, he feels a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that he is living the life he was meant to live. As night falls, Pedro settles
into his hammock, gazing up at the vast expanse above. The sky is studded with countless stars, each one shining brightly like diamonds scattered across the dark canvas. In that moment, Pedro feels small, but not insignificant. He feels deeply connected to something far greater than himself. The starry sky above is his personal show, a reminder that even in the simplicity of country life, there is an endless beauty that exists beyond what meets the eye. Pedro takes a deep breath, watching as the stars flicker, and begins to count them, losing himself in the rhythm of the night. His thoughts drift like the gentle breeze, carried by the silence of the open sky. He reflects on the days gone by, the challenges faced, and the dreams yet to be realized. And in that quiet moment, he finds peace. The stars above, though distant, offer him a sense of hope, an unwavering promise that no matter how dark the night may seem, the light is never too far away. For Pedro, the stars are more than just points of light in the sky. They are like beacons, shining brightly to guide him through moments of uncertainty and loneliness. Each star serves as a reminder that no matter how difficult life may be, there is always something greater than himself that provides direction and purpose. As long as the sky remains above him, he knows that hope is alive, and with it, the possibility of brighter days ahead. In the vastness of the universe, Pedro understands that he is but a small part of a grand design. Yet in the glow of the stars, he feels grounded, knowing that the beauty of the world is always there. Even in the simplest of moments, the stars are a constant presence. They remind him that in this life, there is always a guiding light to fly.
The hay truck arrives loaded down and heavy. The men work together, lifting and unloading the bales one by one. It's a tiring task, but the smiles on their faces reflect the pride they take in a job well done. Joanne, the driver, cracks jokes and shares laughs as he lends a hand in the unloading process. He knows that the hay is crucial to feed the cattle through the cold winter months, and the work they're doing is more important than just a simple chore. As the last bale is unloaded, the group gathers for a well-earned break. They sit around sipping strong coffee and share a slice of homemade cake, content and satisfied with their day's labor. The hay truck with its heavy load represents more than just a mode of
transport. It is a symbol of hard work, teamwork, and dedication to the land and the animals they care for. The men take pride not just in the hay itself, but in the effort it takes to bring it in and ensure that the livestock will be nourished when food is scarce. It's a bond that goes beyond work. It's a shared sense of purpose that ties them all together. The truck is the tool, but the unity of those who unload it is what truly makes it meaningful. At the end of the day, when the hay is safely stored and the hard work is behind them, they leave the barn with a sense of accomplishment for them. The hay truck is more than just a vehicle. It's a reminder that through cooperation and dedication, they are able to sustain the land and the life that depends on it.
Donna Clara was born and raised in the countryside. Life was never easy, but she learned to be as resilient as the roots of the trees that surrounded her. Over the years, she has faced hardships, droughts, floods, and personal losses. But through it all, she stood firm. Now she shares her wisdom and experiences with her grandchildren. She tells them stories of perseverance, of how she never gave up, no matter how many challenges came her way. Today, Donna Clara is the heart and soul of the family, the unshakable foundation that keeps everyone bound together. Her strength is not just physical, it's in her spirit, which has been hardened by years of trials. She often says that her strength comes from the land itself, from the deep, unseen roots that nourish and hold steady the trees through all storms. The land has given her everything, and in return she remains unwavering in her dedication to it. To Donna Clara, the countryside is more than just a place. It's the very essence of who she is. It's where her roots firmly planted, where her memories are made, and where her life story unfolds. Her connection to the land runs deep, and the lessons she's learned from it about hard work, perseverance, and resilience are the same lessons she passes on to the younger generations. As she sits with her grandchildren, her voice carries the weight of a lifetime of experiences. Of the land and the lessons of the past are carried forward into the future. Through her stories, Donna Clara shows them that just as the land gives life, it also teaches strength. Her roots, though invisible, are what hold her and the family together
her forever grounded in the timeless cycle of life and growth.
The hay truck arrives loaded down and heavy. The men work together, lifting and unloading the bales one by one. It's a tiring task, but the smiles on their faces reflect the pride they take in a job well done. Joanne, the driver, cracks jokes and shares laughs as he lends a hand in the unloading process. He knows that the hay is crucial to feed the cattle through the cold winter months, and the work they're doing is more important than just a simple chore. As the last bale is unloaded, the group gathers for a well-earned break. They sit around sipping strong coffee and sharing a slice of homemade cake. Content and satisfied with their day's labor, the hay truck with its heavy load represents more than just a mode of transport. It is a symbol of hard work, teamwork, and dedication to the land and the animals they care for. The men take pride not just in the hay itself, but in the effort it takes to bring it in and ensure that the livestock will be nourished when food is scarce. It's a bond that goes beyond work. It's a shared sense of purpose that ties them all together. The truck is the tool, but the unity of those who unload it is what truly makes it meaningful. At the end of the day, when the hay is safely stored and the hard work is behind them, they leave the barn with a sense of accomplishment. For them, the hay truck is more than just a vehicle. It's a reminder that through cooperation and dedication, they are able to sustain the land and the life that depends on it. Countryside wakes up, covered in a fresh layer of dew. Anna steps out barefoot, feeling the cool, damp grass beneath her feet. It's the start of a new day, brimming with endless possibilities. As she walks through the field, she gathers flowers and herbs for her morning tea, all the while watching the sun begin to rise over the horizon. The dewy morning holds a special magic, where nature seems to be reborn. With every drop of moisture that glistens it's a moment of peace. A quiet start to the busy work ahead, as she moves slowly through the fields. The soft light of dawn illuminates the world around her, and she feels deeply connected to the land. The dew on the ground is a reminder of how nature constantly renews itself. And Anna feels honored to be a part of that continuous cycle. Finds new joy in tending to the earth, whether it's planting seeds, harvesting crops, or caring for the animals. The land is her constant companion, and in return it provides for her family. The dew on the grass is more than just moisture. It symbolizes the nurturing care that nature offers, and the gratitude Anna feels is boundless. As she returns to the house with her gathered flowers and herbs, Anna takes a moment to reflect. She is thankful for the simplicity and beauty of these mornings, for the life she leads on the farm, and for the On the porch, Joe strums his guitar and shares old tales with those around him. The children sit quietly, listening intently, and laughing at the amusing anecdotes he tells. Through his words, the tradition of storytelling continues to thrive. Joel is a natural-born storyteller, and his guitar is the soundtrack of rural life. He sings of love, daring adventures, and the hardships faced along the way, all while preserving the rich culture of the countryside. For Joel, the guitar is not simply an instrument, it is an extension of who he is. Each strum carries a piece of his heart, and each story he tells carries the wisdom of the generations before him. He knows that the stories, the songs, and the memories are vital to keeping the spirit of the past alive. As he plays, the soft rhythm of his guitar fills the air, blending with the sounds of the farm. The rustling of leaves, the distant crowing of a rooster, and the low hum of the wind. It's a harmonious balance between music and nature, a reminder of simpler times when families gathered to share stories under the open sky. The children's laughter is a testament to the power of these old stories, drum, every chord he plays, every tale he shares is an act of preserving the soul of the countryside. He knows that through his guitar and his stories, the spirit of the land will live on in the hearts of those who listen.